Okay, these are the various parameters. You have to define this one. Okay, and parallelly you will have something called like sign on, which you will be defining it here. Okay, and that will be saved here. So it's totally like ODBC connection. This will be done at your local machine level, and the same information will be used here. Okay, this is the one. Okay, this is the connection for a queue. So when it's a queue, you have to provide the path where exactly the queue is saved on your local machine. Okay, and this is a path which we have provided. Okay, if it is a different machine, you have to provide the exact path of that machine. So this is data source. Okay, any questions on these things?
No.
No, right? Okay. And whenever you are creating a new data source, right, there are few parameters which you have to, I mean, collect as a prerequisite. The first thing is like the host name, port, database name if it is a database, path in case of some other things. If it is a multidimensional cube, then you need to have a path. Source name, DB name, port name. Okay. And parallelly, what you have to do is first you have to change the host name, whether it is reachable or not. Okay. So the command will be ping followed by host name. Okay. And simultaneously, if there is any client installed, so you need to verify it and also test the DB once using the client. Okay. If I am considering the SQL Studio, then SQL Management Studio will be a kind of client. Okay, I have to open the client and I have to connect to this machine. Since this is my local machine, right? I'm going to this is Win7 PC is my machine. I'm going to connect to it. If I'm able to connect, then I have to see whether I have the respective DB with me. Okay, testing is a DB. Okay. Whether I can query it or not. So if I find something like this, then I have connected. So this shows I'm connected to testing. I can execute any contents. So these are the prerequisites for connections. Okay. And now what you have to do is okay, the next point. Username, password. Okay. For the username and password, you need to have read access. This you have to get it confirmed from the DBA, okay, or server team. Okay. Why server team? Because the server team will tell you whether you will have access to the path or not. Okay. First thing is like for you need to have a read access at the DB level so that you can access the database. And parallelly, if it is a path, a shared path, then you need to have access to the shared path using server team with the help of the server team. So you have to get the information from them and then try it. So these are the basic steps which will be used while troubleshooting. If you are unable to ping to it, So ping is something like this. You know how to ping a server?
Yeah.
Okay. So in this case, like my Win7 is my PC. Ping. So this is a basic ping command. So this ping will tell us, okay, we are unable to connect to the machine. Okay, connect to the machine in which actually the database is running. Okay. Now just to connect to the database, we need to get the port number, database name, okay, and then username and password. Parallelly, we need to get a confirmation whether we have read access to the database. If it is a cube or something like that, then this one. Then with the help of server team. So these are the basic troubleshootings of what we have to do. And also, like when you will find like various things. A client must be installed on a machine, on every machine, okay, so that you can connect it to it. Okay, if it is SQL, then something related to SQL should be there. If it is Oracle, then Oracle client need to be installed. If it is a DB2, DB2 client. If someone is not providing you a client, then in that case you need to install the drivers. Okay, drivers need to be installed. Like all these drivers, okay, you can get these drivers with the help of your database administrator, okay, and they will install and get it configured for you. So this will do the work of them. Okay, Oracle. In few very rare situations, a single person has to do everything, but that we have to do it. Like in a very rare situation, they'll give us. So otherwise, what will happen is there will be a Oracle or a DBA team, okay, and if it is Oracle, then Oracle database is there. Then Oracle client will be installed with the help of a DBA. If it is a DB2, then DB2 DBA will install the client for you, and he will get the things configured. Okay, in the both the cases, we need to catalog our database, like so the information will vary when it comes to the cataloging. This is the one. Okay. So now these things, are you clear? When it comes to creating a
Yeah.
data source, what all the information we need to collect?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Basics of something. So these are various information. Now any troubleshooting will be based on these things. If you are unable to connect, then any of these parameter will not be working fine. Okay. If it is a username and password, if username and password is not working fine, then you will get some different error. Okay. If the client itself is uninstalled, then you will get a different error. Okay. If these machines are not reachable, okay, in that case, like you will get different error. So you should be, I mean, aware of all these information. Okay. So if someone tells you he is unable to connect to certain data, then first thing you have to do is you have to go and test the connection once. See here, test. Okay, when you click on test. Okay. So based on the test result, right? Okay, what you have to do is you have to take decision. Okay, whether it is succeeded, okay, fine. Whether if it is a failure, then what error we are getting in a failure. Whether it is related to login, okay, or whether it is related to access, you are unable to execute something to, against it. So based on those things, you have to take the decision. Okay. Actually, there are like few more things which I have to discuss. Okay, these permissions. Okay, but actually, this can be done like once you go through that particular link. Okay, this is okay.
Okay.
So tomorrow we'll start it. Okay, you just like spend some time on it, and tomorrow morning we'll start on the security part, like which is like very much important in these cases. Okay. So now data
Yeah,
source
yeah,
is almost
definitely.
done. Hmm, Data source. If you, I will. I don't have any other like specific links. Okay, I'll see if I have any links or any contents with me related to troubleshooting and all this that I'll share it. But currently I don't have anything with me. I have to find it somewhere. Okay, otherwise like within a general Google only we can find it out. No. This is one very good link. Okay, people refer this one. Okay, I'm sharing you here in the chat. You can refer. It gives like various scenarios. Logon failure, unable to connect to at least one database, and then unable to locate the, okay, it highlights everything. Okay,
I
if you
have
have,
gotten, yeah, these errors sometimes actually.
okay, yeah, which one?
That unable to connect to data source or something like that. These errors I have seen.
This one, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are the various scenarios, and you have like various, um I mean, resolutions given for this one also. Okay, when the system is down or there are some issues with your driver, so it gives like various things, various information. Okay, if there is any mismatch, if any environment variable is not configured proper, or if they have installed on a Unix machine, if something permission is being changed, in that case what will happen. So all these various scenarios and situations are being mentioned here, and this is like somewhat like quite famous link where which people will refer to every time. So it has covered like almost like many things, I'll tell you. Okay, if it is a logon failure, okay, unable to connect to at least one during multiple database attached in DB, unable to locate the gateway. This now is totally with respect to driver. This is logon failure, might be system is not reachable, or we are unable to connect to that particular host, or my username and password are being expired, something like that. Okay. Hmm. And even we have one more scenario, unable to, if we have certain CQM, DQM mode and everything, if we have like multiple databases, okay, we are connecting to multiple databases and some catalog information.
What is DQ?
DQM, dynamic query mode, okay, in which the frequently accessed result will be stored in a cache and that will be referred. Okay, I have executing a query, I'm executing a select statement. Okay, that select statement will be saved in a query engine. Okay, it has a cache. So what will happen is if someone else is firing the similar set of query, so what it will do is it will try to fetch the result from the saved query and give it back. So what it will do is it will reduce the IO operation. Instead of going back to the database and getting all the data, it will try to get the data which is available in the cache. So that's nothing.
Okay.
Dynamic query. Here they have given like various. I was referring, right? So driver, if they have not installed, then you have to see the driver. Okay, they are referring to many things here. If you have installed a 32-bit driver, but you have a 64-bit database, Or if you have a 64-bit database, you have installed only the 32-bit driver. So in that case, like what are the different various issues you are getting when there is some issues with the drivers? That one they have mentioned. Okay. And even like we have the various versions available with us. So what kind of versions we are using as a client and what is our target? So all those things we need to be verified. Okay. And when it comes to the Oracle, we have something called we need to open the firewall port also. Even those also need to be done. For that reason only, we are trying to ping it. We are going to ping it. So if with the moment we are going to ping it, we will come to know whether that particular machine is accessible to us or not. That's the one. Likewise, like they have given like various different things, like for both the Windows and for Unix also. Okay. If you just keep this particular URL handy, it will be helpful for you. Okay. So there are like some more things I'll tell you. One is this one. Another one we have with respect to Cognos SQL Server. It's a common issue which people will face. Mhm. By default, the TCP/IP port of SQL Server is disabled. Okay, that need to be enabled. Okay, so you have like various database connectivity issues here. You also go through these things. Okay, these will give you an idea of what all different types of data sources are there and what are the different types of issues we come across. If you cannot connect to SQL Server database really deeply. So even it has the same thing. Even it has the same issue that I mentioned. Okay. So these will give you overall like what are the different kind of error we are getting. Okay. Just to make sure you are aware of all these things, so I'm just sharing these links because these links get updated. We don't know what new will come into it. I'm just sharing the links directly with you. Okay, what are the different types of error we are getting? So all these things are mentioned here. You have one more thing here. I was referring you right something DQM. DQM normally doesn't work on ODBC. It works on JDBC. So how are we going to connect it to JDBC? All these things they have given here. So how the client need to be set up, what are the various different files we need to copy, what are the locations we need to refer. So all these things, we have multiple locations, v5, data server, lib, P2PD, web INF, lib. So depending upon various different, we will be referring to these standard locations where we need to place the different JDBC files, okay, when we want to connect. So these are the various things. Even I'll share with this link also to this. It will be a kind of just, you will be aware of what exactly these scenarios are like. I mean, what will be the workaround? These drivers we cannot go and directly download since these JDBC drivers need to be tested at the organization level, and once they give you a green signal, then only we can use it. We cannot directly go and use all these drivers also. Okay, it varies from company to company. Some company don't prefer anything that comes via open source channel. So there will be some specific channel and organization policies which you need to follow, but you need to be aware that there are certain jar files. Okay, if there are any issues with your JDBC connections, okay, and you have to get these jar files from inside the company. So you should not look for it from outside and get it installed or get the thing work. Even refer this one. The rest of the things are different, so not that much required. So these are the things related to data source. Okay. Still, you have any questions on these things?
No.
Fine, right? Okay. So we'll go to the same the status tab. Okay. Go through the settings concept, like system. Okay. Today I'll go to the systems, like what all the various things we have here. In the system, we have various, and the right hand side we have various meters that are okay. These are nothing but these will capture the value against all these services. If I go through this one, the job queue is 0, so that means like we are not running anything. Okay. Next we have JB. From what time this particular machine? It's 29 minutes, 13 seconds. So we started it some half an hour back. So the JVM, Java Virtual Machine, is up from 30 minutes. Okay. So we started the machine 30 minutes back. The same time will be recorded. Okay. Did we process number of configured processes? We have like totally 2 thresholds. Okay. Did we process anything? Okay. Number of processes 0. Okay. We didn't process anything. Now we'll go to schedules. Okay. Everything is disabled. We'll enable one entry and we will run the schedule. You will see how the matrix will fit. Executed one. Got executed completely. Okay. Now I'll go to system.
Your voice is breaking in the middle. I'm not getting content.
Okay. Okay. Now is it clear?
Yeah, now it is.
Okay. Now I have something. So I just executed a job. Okay. Now you see the number got changed. The number of process become 1. Okay. And it is a high watermark because I ran it on demand, so that's the reason it mentioned as 1 here. Okay. So the number of processes is equal to 1 because I just now I executed a process. Okay. And you can see it here. Okay. And we have something in the upcoming activities. So the moment when the next jobs get triggered, then what will happen is the count will get increased again by 1 here. Okay. If you want, we will run something on demand once again, and we'll see like how it will behave. Run the schedule once. I'll run it once again. I'll go to PAN. It got succeeded, right? Okay. Now you see like how the numbers will change. Okay. You got the number increased by 1. Okay. But the number of configured process remains same. It's 2 only. Okay. But number of processes, we have 2 particular process which got executed, and it's a kind of like on demand which was executed. Okay. So this is the one. Now you can see like what are the other things which will change. Okay. So I have something called like report services. Okay. So in both the cases, there was like one report services which was invoked. Was there any graphics involved? Okay. Hmm? So there was some graphics involved in these particular processes. You have report services. Okay. You have so number of queue reports. Okay. So there was a queue of this particular time. Okay. Number of queue requests, there was one with queue length. So the same thing. So in these cases, what will happen is, okay, instead of referring to multiple locations or multiple services, the Cognos will try to associate with the respective services. So in this case, okay, it's a single report. Okay, and these report, the same report I have been invoking like multiple times. So the respective report services responsible for running this will also come into picture. I had showed you one document, hope you remember it. mm, Running a report.
Yes.
Yeah, I showed you something like this. Okay, if it is a running a report, it goes to the dispatcher. Okay, in my case, this will be the dispatcher. Okay, the dispatcher will take the request. Okay, presentation services, I get a screen something like this, right? This particular screen. This particular screen is due to my presentation services, my presentation. Okay. So I can run a batch report or a report services. So I'm running a batch report, a job in the background. So it becomes a batch. Okay. It becomes a batch. I'm running a batch. That batch is run. So the data goes to my content store. This is my database. Okay. It goes to my content store, CM1011. Okay, it goes there, and from that, okay, parallelly it gets authenticated. Since I am logged in as Win7 user, so it gets authenticated, and then it will run it. Then in the presentation services, it will show me the data. Then it comes to the gateway. So it happens in that way. Since I'm totally running it in a batch mode, I am unable. I'm not viewing it at the front end. I'm just like leaving it here. It comes to the presentation services and then dispatcher. It will not come here. The dispatcher will say it's everything is processed. So it happens like that in this particular scenario. Okay, the one, and similarly the matrix will keep on changing here. So based on all those things, I have something called like request job services. Okay, was there any job run? I did not run any job, but I just ran a batch report. Okay, if I go to request batch service report, there were two particular batches or a background report which were executed. So number of process requests 2, number of successful 2. So I ran 2. So these are the two values which, and even you will come to know how much time it was involved, serve time, successful rates. So various my matrix you can understand in this particular tab. It will be various matrix. If it is my content manager services also, you can see here. We did not run something. Number of processes request. It is showing us 343. So we did not request that those many processes. Okay, number of successful requests 343. So actually this will involve like various things. Okay, what all the things it may involve is every click which I am doing, it's again a process only. Okay, now I'll go and make some changes. Okay, one second. Before I make the changes, I'll go to my system tab. Okay, content manager services, right? Okay, I'll refresh here. Refresh 361, 361. Just note down the number. It's 361, right? I'll click on this. I'll do one thing. Modify the schedule. Okay, enable it. Click on OK. I'll click on set property. make me the owner. So I have made all these operations now. Then what I will do is again I'll click on modify. I'll give my credentials. I'll click on. Now I've done these many operations. I'll click on apply once. Okay. Go. Now you see from 361 it has increased to 418. That means like every operations with whatever we perform at this portal level will increase the count. I just clicked on refresh, nothing happens. Okay, but it's not like these operations, but I'm navigating somewhere. Okay, I'll go here, I'll click this entry, I'll click on disable. I'll disable this one schedule. I'll go back to the system. Okay, from 418 it took 430. So whatever operations we perform here, that will obviously lead to an increase in these things. Okay, this is why the numbers are increasing here, it seems, because if I am telling running a report, okay, I'm running a report. For me, I have executed one report, but background, these many operations will take place. So that's the reason we have something at the content store level, the numbers are increasing drastically. Okay, from 1 it may increase to 50, 60, 100 something. Okay, you can see here successful rates per minute. 3738 requests are being sent per minute. Okay, but we are not sending those many requests. We are just clicking somewhere. But background there will be many things which will be interlinked. When I'm telling and executing a report, if you see we have around like 6 steps that being performed for one click. I'm running a report and leaving 6 steps will be performed. But this is not the accurate one. In the background there might be many more operations which will be going on. And when I'm telling a presentation service, it's not one service which will lead to one count. It may lead to multiple counts. It happens in that way. So this is the one. Likewise, we have various things. I have sessions. Okay, number of sessions. We have particularly like 3 active sessions. Okay, in which like we have a high mark of 4. So 4 particular sessions were actually active at the single point of time. So all these things, session is there. Okay, we have system services. Did anyone request for system services? We have not requested anything related to system. Okay, we have report services. There were 2 particular reports which were executed on the respective services. Okay. We have report data services. Like these things, we have different query services we have. You can see the presentation. So 159. Okay. Did we see any failures? We didn't see any failures, but there is a failure recorded here. Number of failed processes. We have even a failed process. But we didn't come across, but background there might be a process which may have got failed. Okay. We have something called like monitoring. So all these like various processes which are invoked based on our activity will be captured here. We did not run any index. Human task also nothing. Graphics related also we did not run. Likewise, we have various event we did not run. Delivery no SMTP configured in our machine. But you can see 430 we have a count here. This is the cache. Did we cache something? Okay, there are like 18 requests which will cache the things. These are the 2 particular reports which were running. Annotation like this. Every request will be associated with some other. Can you see here? We can find something number of failed requests are due, but we didn't come across any failed screen. Right?
Yeah.
So, but the background, there will be something which might have been failed, but again it might have been rerun. So this happens in this way. Okay, these are the various metrics which we have. So every operations will be captured here. Okay, if you are running a schedule, you are creating a schedule, you are doing any option, that will be actually captured here. So this is nothing but we call it as a system matrix. Okay, and all the metrics related to your executions will be captured here. This is intern a Java page only. Whatever we see, this is again a Java. It's nothing like it's not a it's totally purely a based Java. Okay. So we have some tuning related things that I will take it later. Okay. If I am referring to this particular tab, then I should start the tuning, but that I will take later once I'm done with the user security. So these are the things. Now, okay. In the system tab, I'll take this tuning part like later, not now. Okay. I'll show you. I have this particular also. This is my BI server inside. You may find like multiple entries here if it is a wide distributed environment. Okay, I have like various services. These are the services which will be available with me. Okay, if it is content manager, I have all these options available. Okay, when I want, you can start background activities, stop. Okay, various kind of these entries are nothing but whatever the services that are being enabled in your configuration will reflect here. Okay, if you don't want delivery services, okay, this one is not required, you can stop this one, stop immediately. Okay, this is not required. In that case, this will show you as partially available because one of the services is being stopped forcefully. Okay, but if you actually you want this particular service to be, in that case you can. Okay, we have got changes available to them. So generally what people will do is if they don't want any services to be here, they will go to the configuration file and then they will disable this particular entry so that this particular entry will not reflect here and it will not give you a wrong status telling it is partially available. So just to avoid it, either we will disable at the beginning. We won't be referring or using it for the further use. So here you have various options here. You have set property where you can see the same things here. Okay, type, it's an agent service, who is the owner and all those information. And we have something settings. Okay, these are the settings you can change. That I will take it in the tuning part, like not here. Just to show you that we have an option. We have something like start. You can start or stop immediately. Stop after running queue process. If there are any process that is being handled by that particular service, okay, and once all those things are completed, then you can submit a request for stopping. You can do in that way, or you can stop immediately. No matter what kind of service is still starting, you can stop it. But you will get an option here to stop also, start also. But you should not do this for this particular service because this is a service which is responsible for saving all the contents in the content store. So that's nothing but the end result of the user activity will be saved here. We are not supposed to start, stop or do any operation here. Okay, even though we have option, we are not supposed to do it. Okay. Similarly, whenever I'm clicking on any of the services, right, contents will change here. Okay, you can see here. I have various things. I'll click on something called like job service. Change. I'll click on report service. So when I'm clicking on report service, these are the things. process, number of processes too. Okay, you have queue. Do we have any queue? Means do we have any things which are waiting or which were waiting before getting processed? Request. We had request for totally 2 reports. We have it. I have something called like batch report. Okay, again I got these 2 options here. Batch. 2 reports which are run in background. This is a time. Okay, at this particular time. So again, there you can see all the metrics, but here what you can do is you can go on changing, viewing the metrics for various entries. Okay, log services. What are the requests for the? You have presentation services. Okay, so what were the requests that we saw? So like this, you can see in a different categorical way. If I'm clicking on one particular thing, then I can see the data related to that particular service. See, from 340 or something became to 651 requests. Cache. Like this, you have like various system metrics which will be available here. Okay. So you can see the value once again here, but here what will happen is you will see in a very systematical way. If you are clicking in one service, then all that particular service related metrics you can see. But there you have to see everything in a single window. So it's not the scenario here. You have any questions on this system matrix?
No.
Hmm?
No, I'm good.
You're good, right? Okay. So now what all the things means we have covered this scheduling part, system part. In this, the tuning is there pending. Okay, that will be a part of the that will be taken later because that's the last topic. Upcoming activities I've shown you. Past is covered, current is covered. So this entire tab is almost covered except the tuning part. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we are done with this one. In the security part, okay. If you are completing those things tomorrow, then we will complete this tab.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. And on Friday, I mean on the next day. So what we will do is I'll show you content administration. Okay. So why we use this content administration. Now distribution list and contact is now it's no more required. Why? Because we are interacting with the Active Directory with the organization data only. So this is almost like not required like nowadays. Even though I'll show you like what are the various options here. I'll show you that various options or whatever we have here. Printers I'll show. Okay. Styles, the same skins we have. That also. Portlets. Dispatcher, okay. The same thing. You will find the same services here. The same options can be interacted in this tab. Okay, that's the one. Content administration, which is a major part, that I'll show. How to create and run an index, this one also I'll show. Okay, so these are the various things, and apart from that, the security part may take for 2 or 3 days. Okay, the security part will take 2 or 3 days. 2 or 3 days. This configuration 1.5 or 2 days max. This entire tab, but security will take like 2 or 3 days. So we are left with few more things. I'll tell you how many days we are left now. So give you so what all the things? How I mean the current status like where we are. System we are left with tuning. Okay, that will take like 2 days. System security entire security. Okay. Configuration will take 1 to 2 days. Okay, 1 to 2 days. It will take 2 days because one day I'll be explaining you only the content administration. Okay, in another day I'll be explaining all those things. Okay, and so once this is done, so these are the days which we are left. Once this is done, okay. Once this is done, okay, the security means it will be covering like everything. It will be covering everything, like even capabilities, user groups and roles. All these things will it will cover. So almost like how many? Like 2 means it's 3. So, we are almost like 10 hours left. Okay, we have almost like 10 to 12 hours which we will be covering. So once we all these things we are done, okay, we'll have a one question and answer session, Q&A. Okay, we'll give 2 days gap. Okay, where you have to go through all the sessions which are recorded. So based on the recordings, okay, you have to come up with all the various questions whichever you have. Then we will cover up on the question and answer. And after that, you can take 1 more day gap. Okay, for clarifications. Okay, once you are clarified with all the things in one more session, okay, clarification, then we will end up. Okay.
Okay.
So these are the things. Like today's sessions, I'll upload today. Okay. I think I'll see 1 second. Okay, I'll stop the sharing. Then not stop it. Okay. I'll upload the sessions like now only. Okay. But the thing is like okay, this one, right, this topic, okay, you have to complete it by tomorrow. Okay, it's not that you have to go through it and become perfect. Okay, why? Because whatever thing I'll be telling that will be finalized if you're not going through it. So that's the reason I'm telling you have to come up with all the questions you
Yeah.
have so that you can get it clarified there. Right?
Okay.
Okay. Okay, P. And we'll do one thing. Tomorrow we'll meet at 6. Huh?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.